We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Ego Unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Okay. Teofimo Lopez, The Takeover. Shakur Stevenson. It looks like they are getting very close to finalizing a fight deal. But get this. Turkey backed on Premier Boxing Champions. Wow. In this video, let's talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Lance Pugmire of Boxing Scene put out this article. Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson making strides as a Turkey Al-Sheikh backed PBC event. Crazy. Now, they had the two of them on Netflix for the Canelo Crawford week. I'll put the link in the description. Let's go over the article. Reps connected to the talks to stage Teofimo and Shakur Stevenson a showdown early in 2026 are bullish on the progress, and the bout is being pointed for New York, which makes sense. They're both from the East Coast, so I mean, why would you put it anywhere else? And I like it because if Turkey is involved, right, and he's putting up bread for it, I'm glad that it would happen on the East Coast where both fighters are from, rather than like Brian Norman and Devin Haney are fighting in Saudi Arabia. That's a great American fight, but it's happening over Saudi Arabia. So it just makes it harder for fans to travel there and be a part of it. The meeting between Brooklyn 2-division champ Lopez, Newark's Shakur Stevenson, currently being planned, peep this, as a Premier Boxing Champions card, PBC, that would receive the financial support of Saudi advisor Turkey. Two sources who have been briefed on the talks. 140 champion Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, both 28 years old, spoke of mutual excitement for the bout while at the Canelo Crawford fight. The bout would be for T.O.'s 140-pound championship. Lopez told Boxing Scene he expects more details on the negotiations soon. Stevenson, he would pursue a 4th division belt against the former stablemate, blah, blah, blah. PBC is pressing to stage a steady delivery of pay-per-view cards. In October, powerful manager Al Heyman's company will show Sebastian Fedora, Keith Thurman. Manny Pacquiao may return in December on pay-per-view. Rolly Romero is being considered for that. And then opening 2026 with the pay-per-view headlined for PBC with T.O. and Shakur. While Turkey is funding the new TKO boxing promotion that staged Crawford and Canelo, with plans for lower level fights in some major cards in 2026, the Saudi financier has previously backed cards featuring Stevenson and Lopez. Stevenson beat Zapata, given PBC's usual placement of New York fights. Brooklyn, where Brooklyn at? We gonna do this, like Puff say. More money, more problems. Barclays Center. The venue is seen as a favorite to land the bout. Stevenson's camp may express a preference of MSG to take the bout out of Lopez's hometown. I mean, I hope Shakur don't trip off that. Listen, interesting stuff. I think that's the wild card. I don't think people expected PBC to be involved, right? Teofimo, he was kind of hinting like he was wearing like Mayweather hats and stuff like that. So he's kind of hinting like he was going to do business with PBC. And hey, we here now. Overall, I think the fight is solid. I do have a couple, just brief qualms about it. in my opinion, fights with people like Teofimo, because let's be real, Teofimo has kind of a black American-ish type of style, right? He has some slickness, he has some rhythm. I think in his last fight he did the Ali shuffle, right? So he has that. Counterpuncher, right? Shakur Stevenson, great counterpuncher. Distance manager, that's what I call him. He manages the distance, right? Looking to get his shots off where you can't all the way, and he's a little bit bigger than Teofimo in terms of height and whatever. So fights like that, when you have two people who have wherewithal and some technique and rhythm, sometimes people don't want to take the lead, right? Because styles make fights. If you have a brawler like William Zepeda and Shakur, William Zepeda only has one mode, you know, throw volume punches and bah, 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 and try to get you out of there, you know, attrition, beat you down, try to hurt you, overwhelm you. But that's not how Teofimo fights. So completely different fight. Or, you know, so it could be like kind of like slow paced, maybe lackluster. Or it could be sometimes if the attitudes are right, you have two, it's a high speed chess match and both people are landing good. I mean, I think Canelo and Crawford kind of started off similar, where you have two very good counter punchers, and then Crawford just took off on him and did some very impressive stuff late in the fight. So, you know, it is what it is. But I would check this fight out. I do like it being with PBC because for sure they promote and build the fight better than anybody in boxing. We've seen Netflix, we've seen DAZN. Nobody's building it up. What the heck? Oh, I thought that was real. I was like, what's wrong with them? Why they look like that? But anyway, PBC is the best at that, right? Like, I thought Canelo Crawford, it was cool as a fight. I didn't mind it, but some people probably didn't like it because it was kind of technical work and Canelo got dusted in the end. But the promotion, the buildup, the hype, that it was like it was missing that. It didn't really have much of a buildup at best, I guess, until fight week. So Teofimo and Shakur, I feel like that could be a good buildup, and PBC will do a good job of it because Shakur, he's very confident, very outspoken. He's going to speak his mind. And Teofimo is just kind of weird. Like, he kind of weird in general, where he'll say random, like, Psalms and Bible quotes and then start dancing. I don't know. He's different. You know what I mean? So I think that could be a fun build-up. Teofimo, he fought Barboza. That was a cool fight. But before that, it was Steve Claggett. I mean, he got to get back to guys like Lomachenko. When he was fighting guys like Jermaine Ortiz, Lomachenko, like the bigger names, the better names. So Shakur would definitely be that. And, you know, we'll see what happens. My thing, too, with this is another reason why I'm not getting, like, super stoked and excited, outside of what I said earlier about how the fight could be this way, could be that way, is I don't trust, like, Shakur talks a lot on Twitter and tweets, and, like, this new generation be talking and typing before the business is done and the ink's printed. And Teofimo for sure be selling wolf tickets. Like, you know, 1 minute it looks like he's going to fight. He says he's trying to fight Boots. He's calling out Crawford. Then Crawford, like, kind of looked like he punked him. He be talking about looking like he's going to fight Devin Haney. And then he'll be like, the money wasn't good. And ESPN can keep the blacks. So for me, seeing is believing. Just announce the fight. I'll cover it. I just want to see something to it. But for me, it's hard. For Teo especially, I feel like Teofimo is hard to deal with. Like, 1 minute he's like dissing Turkey and like dissing ESPN. He dissed Top Rank. He's just real hard to like coexist with and promote, it seems. Like, Bob Arum getting a cut of his money, but seemingly like wiped his hands of Teo. Like, because how are you going to be on PBC? You owe Top Rank money, you know, some of your purse, but then you're doing fights with Turkey, Turkey card, now a PBC card. So it's just a little bit screwy. And I think that has a lot to do with Teofimo and how he moves. But Teofimo, I will say this, the better the competition, the better the Teo historically. Like when he fights a better name, when he fights a name like Jermaine Ortiz, Sandor Martin, where he's supposed to beat Steve Claggett, I don't know, it's up in the air. But the better names, when he fought Josh Taylor and Lomachenko, he shows up and he shows up big, right? So he does prepare. Like Barbosa, I thought he looked sharp. When he's fighting like the bigger names and like the more important fights, he does lock in. So I give him that. And he's already in shape because you see him at the fights and stuff. So let me know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. For more boxing news, subscribe.